Today I want to take you guys through 20 life lessons that I've learned. And this was written after me becoming a Christian. I found it now in one of my journals, and just meditating through it and praying over it, I really feel like God is calling me to speak about this today. This is something I actually wasn't going to speak about at all, but I'm sitting here and I just really feel like God really wants me to speak about this. So I really feel this video is going to help someone, especially youngsters who are Christians who are trying to grow closer to God. And yeah, hopefully if you are where I was at, then this will help you and this will elevate you forward the same way it helped me. So let's get started with the first one. The first one is, love is always the answer. And it's as simple as understanding that the Bible is a love story. The Bible is an instruction manual on how we should live with love, and going through Genesis all the way to the end of the Old Testament, the whole reason why Jesus came was to soften our hearts. Moses came to try soften our hearts. He couldn't do it. Joshua tried to soften our hearts, and it continued all the way from Abraham all the way until Jesus, where humans were continuously trying to soften their hearts, and they always fell short because of their human nature and because of their sin. And understanding this, we know Jesus' simple message was that we love each other, and he performed the ultimate sacrifice of love to save us from our sin. But just because we are sinful by nature, it doesn't mean we mustn't strive for love, because love is the closest we can get to God, the closest we can connect with Him, and we all have a piece of God in us. So to connect with God, we need to expose more of our loving nature, and that gets masked in this world, but we really need to push to being more loving. And it's so important. It seems simple, it seems like something we've been taught our whole lives, but just remember that love is always the answer, and not just to think about it, to practice it. Treat someone with love and see how it changes you. It's not doing it for the other person. Your whole life is going to change. You're going to be happier. You're going to be more fulfilled. For me, I wasn't a loving person at all, but God convicted me and changed me. And after I became more loving, my whole life changed. And people become more receptive, more opportunities open up. And it's like love just allows life to enter your heart and into your life, into your mind, into your anything external around you. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So lesson number 2 is, there's no better time to start than now. If there's something you've been trying to do, if there's a dream you have, there's never going to be a time when you're in the right mental state. There's never going to be a time when it's the perfect time to happen. You just need to start now. Start now, pray to God, and He'll guide you. You know God now. So if you know God, God's going to guide you, and He's going to show you exactly what you need to do. And if it's not for you, I've tried so many things that weren't for me, God's going to prove to you that it's not for you. So it's a process of elimination, and it's a good thing. If something doesn't work out for you, it's not a loss, it's not a failure. You should see it as God's just eliminating things to show you what your true purpose is. Number 3, God knows more than you. Ask Him to guide your future, and that's so important. God knows so much more than us. 10 years ago, what we liked is often not what we really like now, and not really where we want to head now in our lives. So yeah, if you're confused about life, don't worry. God knows where you're supposed to be, and He will guide you. And just ask Him, simply ask Him to guide you. He knows more than you. So on to number 4. Number 4 is trust the process. That's similar to what I've been saying now. Trust the process. If you're in a place where you're not feeling good, you're in a place where you don't feel in control of your mind, where you feel depressed and you feel like, how is Win ever going to come out of the situation I'm in? How am I going to ever come to success? God's using your pain to push you forward, to propel you forward. Number 6, your friends' moods are contagious. Choose them wisely. And this is something that took a long time for me in life. A lot later in life I figured this out, but your friends can often have these moods, and you love them so much that you don't see it, that transfer onto you, and you leave feeling those moods thinking that it's you, but it's actually them. It's actually them that's depressed, and then you coming home feeling depressed, thinking that it's you and you the burden, but it's actually them because they aren't right in the spirit. So I'm going to repeat that, and you make what you will of it, and hopefully it speaks to you. Your friends' moods are contagious. Choose them wisely. Number 7, chasing a dream can be unhealthy. Just make sure that you don't put your dream above God. Make sure that your dream, and be honest with yourself, is this dream as important as God? Are you praying to God only for this dream? Are you worshipping only so that this dream can come to fruition? Because if you are, then the reason you're serving God is so that He can bring your real God to you, which is the idol you're placing above Him. So make sure your dream isn't bigger than God. Living in the moment makes you a better person. That's number 8. And what I mean by that is, stop chasing a future potential self all the time. Stop always trying to get somewhere, and stop always living in the past in guilt and condemnation. Make things right now. If you're here now, you're a new person, and you can choose a new definition of who you are. If you have guilt, you can make it right, whether it's talking to a family member who you've lost connection with, or if you always working towards the future, stop for a moment and go hug your child. Go see your wife and have a conversation with her and show her some love. All these things are so important, and it connects with my first point, which is show love. The only time we can show love is in the present moment. And then going on to number 9 is, don't rush into decisions. How you feel today may not be how you feel 10 years from now. So don't be hasty, don't rush. And a lot of people feel like they aren't intelligent enough, they need to learn more, they need to grow more, they need to do so many things. And they're always rushing to try to get somewhere, always rushing to be the top of their business when they just entered their company 5 years ago. And the thing is, I heard someone say that knowledge isn't learned through books, it's learned through life, and life happens slowly. A tree grows slowly, and just like that, we also grow slowly, mentally, physically. All these things happen slowly. So don't rush the process. Don't stress out too much about it, because God's got you right where you need to be. Number 10 is, let go of the past. Guilt and shame are not your burden, but rather God's to carry. The whole reason why Jesus came is so that we don't have to carry guilt and condemnation. He took that on the cross for us. And if we really believe in God, we understand that if we are feeling guilty and if we're feeling all these negative feelings about our past, then we truly don't believe in God. We truly don't believe in Jesus. Jesus came so that we can be wiped free of guilt. So we need to forgive ourselves, and we need to forgive ourselves so we can change. We need to forgive ourselves so we can move forward in life. And also, to get rid of your guilt, go apologize. Go do whatever you need to do to clean your record. But God forgives you, and that's such a liberating feeling. That was so liberating for me. Number 11 is, your emotions lie. Try put voices to them and cancel out the negative ones. For me, I've heard like 50% of people actually have a narrative voice in their head, but for me, I don't. They just come as like thoughts and like wisps of thoughts. And for me, I had to really put a voice to the way I was thinking to understand the negative parts that have just been coded into me through life. And that's when I understand the devil is just like a parasite. He feeds a certain way of thinking to you so that you can think that it's actually you. And there's so many ways we think. Like when something bad happens, we think negatively straight away instead of seeing it as an opportunity to grow, or God's eliminating something from our lives, like I said earlier. And yeah, just be mindful of how you're thinking. Start eliminating, and you don't have to do this right away. Don't obsess over it. But if tomorrow you see one little thing you thought negatively over, just be mindful of it and collect it. Put it in your thought jar and be like, cool, when this happens again, I'm going to act differently. And a lot of these situations will pop up, and over time you'll be able to navigate them, and piece by piece you'll change. And it's that saying, like, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. It's not going to be one instant time where you just change and you are now like righteous and clean and you think perfectly. Becoming better and like self-progress is a very slow journey. So don't beat yourself up over it. It takes time. If I look at myself a year ago, I'm a completely different person. But if I look at myself a week ago, I'm quite similar to how I am today. So it takes time. Number 11, your emotions. Number 12, life has a way of working itself out in every season. Don't get caught up in the waves. Everything that happens for a reason. If you're in debt and you're trying to get out of it, if you just lost a child, if you going through the most heartbreaking season of your life, if you've just experienced a trauma, it feels ugly now, and it feels like maybe for the past 2 years you haven't been able to get out of it, the past 5 years, still give it time. God is the ultimate healer, and God works through time. Number 13, comparing yourself to others is toxic and not helpful. It's quite self-explanatory. Stop comparing your life journey to others. It's easier said than done. But if we see like one of our friends move into a beautiful house and we know we don't have the job or the finances to even get near there, we can often get jealous, and that's holding us back. And it's putting negative spirits over their lives. It's putting negative thoughts over their lives, and we should be happy for people. And we don't need to compare ourselves to them, because God's working our journey for our specific will, His will that He has for us. And the way God made us is completely different to how He made someone else. So let's just celebrate anyone else when they get blessings, when they get closer to God. The only time we should really help people or comment on people is when they're in a lower place and we're trying to uplift them. So that's a lesson I've learned. Just love others. Everyone's journey is completely different. And just because someone's the most wealthy doesn't mean they're the most happy. So that could also mean that you make money an idol, and it's so important to you. So learn these things about yourself. Start thinking about yourself and the way you think about the world. Because if you are getting jealous over someone's riches, then maybe you put money above God. And if you really have God close to you, you're not going to get jealous. You're not going to compare yourself to others. Number 14, people will always come across like they have it all together. We all face challenges. Some people are just better at ignoring them. And once again, everyone hears about this, but it's a toxic age of social media, the toxic age of constant information, and we only fed a version of reality that seems good now. It seems good when you see it straight away, and then as soon as you close your phone, you're back in your reality, and there's problems and there's all these things, but what you're seeing isn't reality. Get it into your mind that it's not reality, and delete social media if you have to, because it can be a very harmful tool. And even when you see people in public, a lot of people are going to put on smiles on their faces. And like, how often do we hear when like someone commits suicide that, oh, I didn't know, you wouldn't have guessed that this person was going through that. You wouldn't have actually thought this person would have done something like that. And it just goes to show what people show you is the best side of themselves, and everyone has things in their head that they're trying to overcome, problems they're trying to overcome, and even the most righteous of people have their problems. So don't look at everyone, don't look at me when I'm talking to you now like I don't have any problems. I have a lot of problems, and I'm navigating life, but I'm trying to share what I've learned. So yeah, get that toxic thinking out of your mind if you have it, because it's something that held me down for so long and stopped me from being proactive in life. Number 15, self-confidence is the key to success. You should not be affected by others' opinions of you. If you are, you're still finding yourself. So don't judge yourself when you think, oh, I worry too much about what people think about me. That means you don't have an identity yet, and you're not feeling secure. Because when you're not feeling secure, you're going to feel unstable. And when you feel unstable, you feel like other people's opinions matter and they define who you are, because you have not found solidity on the ground you stand on. You're still figuring out how to walk. And that's okay. Give yourself time to find out who you are. Go try new things. You're not going to expand in life if you don't do new things. If you're someone who does the same things every day, ask yourself, how are these things going to grow me? Things are only going to change when I change, when I start trying new things, and make it small. Go out to a restaurant you haven't eaten at before. Start little things, because you don't know what's going to happen from certain situations. And for me, my life changed when I went ice skating for the first time. And it was just because I decided to do that, and I met my wife. So yeah, very important. So try new things. Number 16, depression is real. Getting out of it is a choice. And that's going to cause a lot of controversy, but it's my belief. Depression is real, but getting out of it is a choice. And you need to, especially if you know God, lean on God, and He'll get you out of it. Because a lot of people who have depression, this has scientifically been proved, they have constant thoughts about themselves. It's a lot of egoic talk and I talk. They're constantly reflecting and ruminating on themselves. And when you get closer to God, you lose yourself and you become more your spirit. and you become more centered around others. So get into service, get into getting closer to God, and make the choice that you're not going to worry about yourself, but you're going to worry more about others, and you're going to worry more about getting your relationship right with God, because there's a spirit in you that you still need to grow and that you still need to harbor. So number 17, God is the answer to all problems in life. That's what I just said. So awesome. Number 18, love your parents no matter what they have done. You only get one set of them. And it doesn't matter if your whole life they've been abusive to you, they've been wrong to you. They're your reason for being here. And as the continuation of their bloodline, you have a responsibility to fix things and to make things right. You are the new leader of the new generation to push forward and treat your children the way your parents didn't treat you in their negative ways. So treat your children right. Where you felt like you were neglected, where you felt like you were abandoned, treat them right. Push forward and grow. Number 19, confront things that scare you. You need to, in life, often we write ourselves off because we feel too anxious, we feel too worried, and I'm a highly anxious person by nature. But the only time I've really ever grown in life is when I put myself out there, and those moments were terrifying. But what God does is he reveals to you that it was all a lie from the devil to stop you from getting towards your purpose, and almost see anxiety as a compass towards where you need to go. And that's so powerful, seeing anxiety as a compass, because that's where the devil has set up traps for you to not go, because he's scared of how strong you would be in God's army. If you had to develop to the person you need to be, that God has created you to be, and the devil saw that person, he would be terrified. And that's exactly why he's stopping you from getting towards your purpose. He's made you anxious so that you don't have to do certain things to grow your character, to develop the tools to achieve God's will for you. So see it as a sign that the devil sees you as a threat. And it's honestly the truth. It's not a coping mechanism, it's a truth. The devil doesn't want you to get to where you need to, so he's going to put obstacles in your way. And yeah, don't listen to anxiety. It's a lie, it's a mirage, it's a smokescreen, and just ignore it, push forward and carry on. Number 20, your faith is stretched the more you spend time with God. You learn every season is his doing. Even some thoughts is him guiding you and him revealing himself to you. So something so important is we need to remember where we came from in life. Because if we start being conscious of where we are, and this is why journaling is so important, because you can look back and see what your mind state was, you can understand that God was formulating you. Every journal I look back on, I look at my first one and it was a season of depression. I look at my second journal and it was a season of compression. God was compressing me and taking things out of me that needed to come out. It was an ugly journal, but as it got towards the end, there was a lot more hopeful talk and there was a lot more positive talk. And then in my third journal, it started becoming more prayerful. And the fifth journal, I started applying God's word. So look at yourself in seasons and understand that God works through seasons. Every single season, like every single book that captured a season of my life, God was using to grow me in a certain way. And sometimes it seems like, why? Like specifically me, no one understands what I'm going through. I think everyone suffers, everyone goes through hardship, whether big or small. God knows, the Bible says God will never test you with more than you can handle, more than you can bear. So you've chosen to go through the journey you're going through, but God's never going to give you too much to the point where it's too hard. God knows how strong you are, how strong your character is, and the more challenges you have, celebrate, because God's preparing you. He's putting armor on you to go into a battle. He's putting armor on you in the spirit to go into a battle where you can fight for him. So yeah, those are 20 life lessons that I've learned, and I tried to compress them down as much as I could, try to simplify them as much as I could, and I really hope this helps someone. I really hope this speaks to someone today. And if anyone has any questions, please or if you see something I say and you don't agree, I'm very happy to have a discussion about that, because I'm also on my journey and I'm trying to grow and I'm trying to be better and I'm trying to grow closer to God and be a better Christian. And so many times we have blind sides that we just don't see. So I'd love if people can point those out too. And we're on this journey together. We're supposed to help each other as children of God, and love each other. So yeah, I love you guys, and I hope you found this helpful. Thanks.